I was not a popular kid. I would finish my classwork and then I'd daydream about being a hero. There'd be some sort of life or death situation and everyone would panic, but not me. Only a chubby little weirdo could save the day. I'd be a hero and all my problems would be solved. I used to think that this was everyone's fantasy, but then I played Mega Man Star Force. You play as Geo Stellar, a kid who does not want his superpowers. He doesn't want to be popular. He doesn't want friends. To Geo, when you care about someone, that just makes the pain of losing them so much worse. He's lost his dad, and he is terrified of losing anyone else. And this twist to a superhero is what makes him compelling. The lonely boy who's forced to step up, a reluctant hero, and an unlikely friendship that changes everything. Look, I've been so excited for the Mega Man Star Force Legacy Collection. I am a huge fan. We are about to take a children's story extremely seriously because, frankly, it deserves to be taken seriously. How do I know that it's underrated? Well, when IGN first reviewed Mega Man Star Force way back in 2007, they gave it a 5.2. They called the story arbitrary and dumbfounding. Fast forward to today, and IGN is a lot more positive about Star Force, but I honestly just can't get over the first sentence. RPGs don't always require compelling stories or innovative trappings to be fun? What? In this video, I'm going to be sharing and analyzing the full story of Mega Man Star Force 1 so you can decide for yourself who's right, me or IGN. And I'll be voice acting some of my favorite moments, so feel free to type cringe in the comments, though if you're a real one, you'll write Geo X Luna. That way I know who my brother bands are. So, Mega Man Star Force takes place about 200 years in the future. If you thought 5G internet was great, we are now talking maybe 6G or 7G internet. Earth is so interconnected that we've turned to space to make new connections. That's the job of our dad, 𝐓𝐑𝐀𝐔𝐌𝐀 Stellar, to find out. He's an astronaut and a great scientist. But 3 years ago, the space station he was on met a mysterious fate, with pieces of it found in the ocean. Ever since that day, Geo Stellar has been closed off and depressed. He refuses to go to school. He spends all his time in his room, and if he leaves the house, it's to stargaze and to ruminate about his father. What's... This is Dad's access signal. It's getting closer and closer. Ah! So this is Earth. Ugh. Ah! What? You can see me. That's funny. Humans aren't supposed to be able to see energy beings like me. Are you a monster? Why are there roads in the sky? That's not the Milky Way, that's for sure. Am I dreaming? It disappeared. Ah, it's back! Now I get it. You can see my EM body with those glasses. But I didn't see a thing earlier. Must have activated some sort of hidden power of those glasses when I zapped them. What? Hey, didn't anyone tell you not to gawk? But I guess I can't blame you, kid. Who are you? The name's Omega-Xis, but humans get it all wrong, so just call me Mega. I'm from Planet FM, so I'm what you humans call an alien, I guess. But to me, you guys are the real aliens. Normally, you humans can't see my EM body, which is made of electromagnetic waves. But somehow, I guess with those glasses, you can see the wave world. That road you see in the sky is a part of the wave world, a wave road. You got all that, Geo Stellar? Why does an alien know my name? I heard it from a human I met in space. A human? Could it be... Was it my dad? Dad, where is he right now? Mega is being hunted down by Planet FM, where he lived. In other words, this alien is a fugitive and a magnet for trouble. And it's this trouble-making alien that changes the fate of Geo. These two characters, they are total opposites. The boy spends most of his time indoors. He's an introvert. The alien is loud and boisterous. He's an extrovert. He gets bored super easily, and he wants to learn more about Earth. By the way, Mega lives inside Geo's transer, which is pretty much a smartphone that's connected to your arm. Using this power, sometimes he'll just straight up drag Geo around. That's how bored he gets. The two start off on a rocky footing, but they ultimately need each other. Geo wants to learn what happened to his dad, and Omega needs a human partner to survive being hunted. EM wave creatures like him, they're weaker on planet Earth, but they can fuse with humans to become much stronger. And unlike all the enemies they'll encounter, Geo and Omega-Xis are the only ones that fuse willingly. Over time, as they learn to trust each other, their combined power becomes greater, but getting there is a journey, and what a journey it is. So Megaman Star Force is 50% trading card game. There's hundreds of these different battle cards that you can add to your deck. You might swing a sword, you might make it rain, you might heal yourself. But Megaman Star Force is also 50% fighting game. You're dodging, you're shielding, you're waiting for an opening, then you're rushing forward for a quick strike. Timing is everything because your cards can miss. You do have the Mega Buster, but it's pretty weak, so you'll have to wait for this custom gauge to fill up, and then you can reload more cards. Battling is extremely cool. But something that I never see mentioned is how Geo and Omega-Xis are represented in battle. Geo, as a character, is reluctant and cautious. He prefers to keep his distance, and so he can only move left and right. But Mega is bloodthirsty and brave. He'll warp you right in front of enemies to land your attacks with perfect accuracy. His literal mouth is your arm cannon. So when you dodge and pick battle cards, you're controlling Geo, and when you blast and lock onto targets, you're controlling Mega. They're both fused together. It's two halves of this fused character. Dodging and punishing, that's the core gameplay in Megaman Star Force, and I love that it represents both the human side and the alien side. I think that's super neat. But anyway, back to the story. Even though Geo hasn't gone to school in years, he does technically have some classmates. Luna Platts is this high achiever class president with just amazing hair. She's got these two cronies, the big boy, Bud Bison, and the small boy, Zach Temple. This group spends most of the game trying to drag Geo back to school. Luna is a bit of a princess and a resume chaser, so she'll go through almost any length to give her class a perfect attendance and therefore make her a better class president. Geo wants nothing to do with this annoying group, and now that he's got this troublemaker alien that lives on his arm, conflict heats up. Remember how Mega can drag around Geo's arm? Well, he gives Bud Bison a mega uppercut that knocks the bully out cold. Now, Luna is pissed at Bud. His whole thing is being big and strong, but he just got whooped by a scrawny kid. Bud starts to feel insecure about his friendship with her, and that loneliness attracts the alien Horus. He is also from planet FM, and he's the first of many enemies who are hunting down Omega-Xis. Taurus manipulates Bud into fusing and becoming Taurus Fire. This is a problem. Taurus Fire causes damage all throughout Echo Ridge, which is the town that Geo lives in. He captures Luna and Zach, converts them into waves, and this huge bull is just on a wild rampage. But somehow, we manage to defeat this huge opponent, and Luna, who gets a quick glimpse of her savior before returning to the real world, asks Geo who he is. I'm Megaman. This is Geo's first major victory as a superhero. Before the battle, he's afraid of this massive creature in front of him. He's rattled, he's unsure, he scoffs at the concept of trust. Taurus even makes fun of this loser kid. But afterward, there's the catharsis and the thrill that comes with victory. And it's the start of a deeper bond with this alien. We won. I can't believe See, didn't I tell you to trust me? That was our power just now. Our power? Now you get it right, so give me a little more credit and trust me, okay? Okay. And in classic superhero style, Geo now has a secret identity of sorts because he now has something to protect. When a police detective named Bob Copper starts to investigate, we learn that he plans on destroying all wave radiation and that Geo is a suspect. If Omega-Xis gets destroyed, then our planet would be doomed against the alien invasion. Though, truthfully, I don't think Geo is thinking on that high of a level. He just wants to keep a low profile, and even more so, he wants to keep his friends safe, even though he'd never admit it at this stage. There's another conflict, this time with the alien Cygnus Wing at a space research center. Your father's friend, Aaron Boreal, runs this place. Luna and her squad follow Geo here, and everyone gets wrapped up in this big attack by Cygnus Wing, but Mega Man does win again. Sometime later, Geo meets a famous musician named Sonia Strum. We help her hide from her awful manager by taking her to Mr. Boreal. Sonia tells us that she started writing music to make her sick mother smile, but now that she passed away, way, Sonia's reason for making music feels fake and commercial. Unfortunately, the manager is only interested in profit. He finds her and takes her away, but not before Geo bravely stands up to him and gets smacked as a result. Seriously, this manager is just an awful person, and it also gives us a rare monologue from Geo that I think is really poignant. I didn't say a thing to her in the end. If we had been brothers, would I have been able to protect her? No, I can't. I can't do it. I can't be another person's strength. When she was telling me about her mother, I understood what she was talking about because all the things she was saying, they were things that I could say about my own life. But I couldn't tell her she was saying things I couldn't say myself because I'm so weak. Sonia's loneliness attracts the alien Lyra, and to elaborate, that is a thing. Humans who are lonely have a certain frequency that these aliens are attracted to because it's easy for them to manipulate. The two of them fuse in a harp note and start rampaging about. When Megaman does beat her, we get this really touching scene. Geo opens up about his struggle losing his dad, how he hated going to school, how he thought about running away. Geo and Sonia, they've got a lot in common, and when Geo sees her cry, he remembers his dad's words about lifting up each other. He knows what to do. And so Sonia becomes Geo's first brother band. Okay, so what exactly is that? In the world of Star Force, a brother band is like pretty much a Facebook friend. Brothers must reveal a secret about themselves, which in Geo's case is pretty obvious. He's got a freeloading alien that lives in a smartphone. But brother bands go deeper too. You know that trope in anime where your friends give you power? So in this case, a brother band is literally that. By being friends with Sonia, you, the player, gain new abilities like starting the battle off with a barrier. And for some strange reason, Geo's pendant is now glowing. What could that mean? So Luna tries yet again to get Geo to go to school, and after some funny back and forth, Luna tells him, hey, I wrote a school play, and you, Geo, have an important role to play. Can't you at least see the set? Geo reluctantly agrees and mega stoked because he finally gets to see what a school is like. It turns out that the school play is based on that Taurus fire incident from when Luna got saved by the hero, Megaman. Geo gets extremely nervous. The last thing he wants is for people to know his identity. But later on, Geo heads to Mr. Boreal to ask about this pendant. And it's there at the Space Research Center that Geo meets the three great satellite admins, Leo, Pegasus, and Dragon. These three sages are powerful EM beings from planet AM, which used to be planet FM's neighbor. I say used to be because the great weapon Andromeda was what destroyed planet AM. So that's what Omega-Xis has been holding. He stole a key to a weapon of mass destruction. By the way, it's never explicitly clear what the three satellite admins do, but I would imagine it's kind of like, I don't know, running AT&T, T-Mobile, and Verizon. They're these kind of equal but competing powers that control the wave world and network communication. At least that's how I see it. After completing a trial from them, the three sages bestow Geo with a gift, though it doesn't seem to do much. But after all of these victories that Geo has had, after making a true friend, after sleeping and dreaming on it, the boy decides that he's finally ready for school. He says hello to his teacher, Mr. Shepard, who was always kind and never once pressured Geo to return to class. We also make a new acquaintance, a mellow boy named Pat that seems to get along well. But unfortunately, we meet a tough enemy too. So jammers are grunts from Planet FM, and though we've beaten plenty of them up until this point, now there's a giant jammer that's practically invincible, and he nearly crushed Megaman to death. When a crisis occurs at school, this giant jammer shows up yet again, and he's ready to finish the job. It's here that Geo has one of his lowest moments. It's that guy from before! Huh. We've got our hands full with Libra, and now we gotta deal with him? Hey, what's your deal, punk? You working for Libra? You won't get away this time. Here he comes! Get ready, Geo! Geo? I can't win. Because I lost last time. Don't be stupid, kid! But what about your friends? I'm not a hero. I don't want to get hurt. I hate pain. Are you done? Ah! Take this. Ah! Not good. It hurts so much. I can't take much more. I'm gonna faint. Where am I? Oh, I get it. That guy must have sent me here. Hey, you're not that far gone. Is it supposed to be this empty? Geo. After coming all this way, are you giving up? That shadow. It's that guy from before. You are not this weak. Of this we are sure. You keep talking about my power, but what in the world can I do about anything? Will you truly give up here? Can you not hear them, the voices that cry out for you? Voices? Help. Huh? Help. Help. Help us, Megaman. Luna. Stop. Please, don't put me in any more danger. I'm not that strong. I'm not a hero. I'm just an ordinary, weak elementary kid. So, that child believes in you. She will believe until the bitter end. Ugh. I ask once more. Geo, will you give up here? I want to protect that girl that believes in me. I want to protect her! Finally. Finally, those words pass your lips. If you fight for someone important to you, your strength becomes unrivaled. That is the mark of a human. Fighting for someone? The preparations are complete. The power of the stars, the Star Force, is now accessible to you. My body. What? What's happening? Where is that power coming from? I'll protect her! Just watch me! Impossible! Ah! Whoa. This is the Star Force. With this, I can beat him! Interesting. This time, I won't lose. As Geo continues to succeed, he continues to change for the better. He smiles. And for whatever reason, he makes Luna's heart pound. Every now and then, when Geo speaks, she thinks that she hears Megaman. Luna even stalks him on a date with Sonia. At the same time, we learn that Luna's parents are these high net worth moguls who feel that she's been associating with peasantry and riffraff. They want to transfer Luna to a private school without ever considering her feelings. This tension comes to a boil when Luna accepts an 𝐓𝐑𝐀𝐔𝐌𝐀 and becomes Queen 𝐓𝐑𝐀𝐔𝐌𝐀. After some trouble, we are able to defeat her, but interestingly, there's another FM alien around, the frightening Gemini. He doesn't even show himself on screen, and Omega-Xis is sweating bullets because we're in range. Gemini unleashes his powerful thunder attack, but not at us. Instead, he destroys 𝐓𝐑𝐀𝐔𝐌𝐀, and he mentions having his own agenda. But Luna is fine, thankfully, and she runs to embrace her hero Megaman, and when they transfer back to the real world, that's how his secret is let out. She's shocked and in disbelief, but she comes to terms with it after her parents decide to not have any issues with her. And once the secret's out, well, Luna may as well make a brother band with Geo. And Luna, being a cheeky girl, asks if Geo and Sonia are dating. The answer is no, they're just friends. And Luna giggles. Seems like things have really turned around for our hero. Months ago, he was a shut-in. Now, he's proven himself to be strong. He literally has the power of the stars and an alien at his side, but even more powerful than that, Geo has 2 girlfriends. What could possibly go wrong? We knew the frightening Gemini was coming, but who would have thought that he'd take the form of Hat? You might remember him as the friend that we made at school. He and Geo have a similar energy, and as they become closer friends, Pat shows us Dream Island. I want to take a second to pause here and say that Dream Island's vibe is incredible, and I swear to you, the past 20 years, I've had this music off and on in my head at the strangest of times. So there's a playground here, and there's a garden. Pat calls this area his sanctuary. Then there's the landfill. That's the part of society that we don't want to look at or think about. And it's here in the landfill where Pat was abandoned as a baby. Geo shares his own struggles with Pat, but he's speechless when he learns the horrible truth. Pat's trauma was so deep that it splits his personality into a second self named Ray. And Ray is cruel. It would be so easy to remove Geo and steal back the Andromeda key while his guard is down, thinking he's around a friend. Pat and Ray are a perfect fit for Gemini, the twins, and more than just being extremely powerful, the truth of everything is just too awful. Geo has been used. When Gemini Spark is defeated, just Pat remains and this cutscene plays. Hey Geo, you haven't gone to school lately. Are you still upset about Pat? Not good. At this rate, he won't be able to fight at all. If we were to get attacked right now. Yeesh! How long are you gonna mope? Be a man and put it behind you already! You have no idea how I feel, Mega. You don't know what it feels like to have your friend stab you in the back. Pat betrayed me. I can't trust anyone anymore. I knew that getting into relationships with people would have its ups and downs. So why did I try to make friends anyway? Huh! You've been acting like some sort of tragic hero this whole time. Put on your visualizer. What is it now? Listen up, kid, and listen good. I fought with you until now, and I think you become a pretty good person since we met, but I guess I thought wrong. Even an Ephemian wouldn't want a pathetic host like you. Sorry, but I'm gonna have to bail. Have fun in your oh-so-tragic world. Wait a second. Bail? You don't really mean you're leaving. Heh, what do you think? Before I go, I'm gonna say one thing. Something bad's gonna happen to this planet soon. And when that happens, I suggest you find a very good place to hide. Well, see you around, kid. Bye. Mega. Why does this only happen to me? What a mistake it was to trust other people. The pain is just too much. Geo even cuts their brother bands. At this, Luna storms off. Sonia at least gently searches for Omega-Xis, but Geo, he just clams up. The hero who grew, the hero who triumphed. Well, that persona has been shattered. This whole section is easily my favorite part of Megaman Star Force. The stakes are about to get higher, and the pressure on our hero is suffocating as he dreams of Omega-Xis dying and being unable to help him. Mr. Boreal reaches out to Geo. The space station named Peace, this is the same space station that his dad, 𝐓𝐑𝐀𝐔𝐌𝐀, Stellar was on, and they've detected a new radio signal from it. News about his dad, that's probably the only thing that can snap Geo out of his funk, but the news isn't good. The king of Planet FM announces a declaration that he will personally destroy the Earth. As part of this invasion, he unleashes giant orbs all over the planet. They expose humans to intense and painful radiation. If not for the detective Bob Copper, Geo's story would have ended right there. He chases after his mom, who he knows went shopping, and this time, the giant orb turns invisible waves into physical forms. Now you've got a group of jammers that are punching and wailing on Geo, taking hit after hit. Again, without his partner, Omega-Xis, Geo is just a weak little child. But this time, the satellite admins save the day. They make it very clear. Omega-Xis learned how to sympathize from Geo, and Geo learned to be brave from his partner. Like yin and yang, they're powerful and almighty together. They learn from each other, and that partnership that they've grown is something that makes them invincible. With proof of the horrifying invasion in front of him, Geo understands immediately. He needs to protect the people that he loves. And in doing so, he finds the courage to fight. But first, he needs to find Mega. Unfortunately, our alien friend has been pummeled by all the former FM villains. They've been revived by the king from Planet FM. And even Harpnote is down for the count. Run away, Geo. You can't win against them by yourself. To think you actually care about a human. Now that we have the Andromeda Key, you are of no use to us, so I might as well finish you off. Consider this payment for what you did to me last time. Goodbye, traitor. Gemini Thunder! Is this it? How was that? What? You fool. You just said I can't beat them by myself. So let's fight together, the two of us. Stupid human. All you had to do was sit by and watch. You just had to follow your human heart, didn't you? You fool. But it's your fight, so I guess you can't help it. The boy who was once afraid of pain and just recently got whooped stopped at nothing to save his partner. But while the FM aliens retreat, they did steal the Andromeda Key. If we thought things were bad now, they're about to get even worse. But at least we know where they're operating. Remember, it's the space station named Peace, the same spot where our dad went missing. The plan is to beam Megaman out to space. With some help from Mr. Boreal and a former NASA scientist, we develop a transmitter to send us to the space station. As we explore and unlock different parts of it, we learn the truth of what happened to our dad. Geo Stellar was seen as a threat by the FM King and was sentenced to death. Omega-Xis was the jailkeeper. The two develop an interesting friendship, and Kelvin begs for Omega to convert his body into waves. The alien is down, but he explains the risks. Just because Kelvin turns into waves doesn't mean he can just magically find the Earth. We're talking about the vastness of outer space. Not to mention, it might not be possible for a wave to turn back into something physical. But Kelvin, ever the optimist, goes for it anyway. He's gonna die if he stays, so why not try? And learning this, Geo is somehow relieved. All this time, he thought that his father could have been dead, but now he knows there's at least a shot. As they take down enemy after enemy, eventually Megaman faces off with the big, bad Andromeda. And after a fight for their life, they win. In fact, they even save the FM King, who is just bewildered that this small creature in front of him has so much power. Omega-Xis explains, it's the power of relationships that humans are known to have. To remind you, the FM King has been horrible throughout the game. He destroyed Planet AM, effectively carrying on a genocide. He imprisoned Geo Stellar for no reason and was about to execute him. He had no problem unleashing Andromeda yet again and attempting to destroy the planet Earth. Omega-Xis the entire game has stated how he wants revenge on the king. It turns out that our alien friend is actually from planet AM, and so he seeks revenge and justice for the genocide of his people. But even confronted with all of these crimes, Geo and Mega both agree to show mercy. The FM King is named 𝐓𝐑𝐀𝐔𝐌𝐀, and he describes how his entire life he's been unable to trust anyone. As the king, there were many EM creatures who were out for the throne. There were many attempts on his life. Gemini was a master manipulator and was able to convince the king that planet AM and planet Earth were both threats that needed to be eliminated. Hearing all this, Geo relates and shares how even trust in one person can change your entire life. Geo promises to be King 𝐓𝐑𝐀𝐔𝐌𝐀's first ever friend. Megaman heads back to the space station, and just as they're about to return to Earth, parts of the space station start malfunctioning and blowing up. Geo runs off to a shuttle area and is able to activate an autopilot to head back to Earth. We get in contact with Mr. Boreal and Luna and Sonia and even Bud, who we become brothers with. We proclaim victory, but unfortunately, another malfunction occurs and switches off the autopilot. Now, Geo and Omega-Xis are doomed. Space is massive beyond words. The odds of them finding Earth on their own are next to none. But back on Earth, Geo's friends know exactly what to do. They're linked together by their brother band, the embodiment of their friendship and relationship. They're able to make a path for Geo way up in space, hundreds of thousands of miles away. And in time, our little boy hero, well, he manages to come back home. It's a touching and beautiful finale. So look, it's not like I don't understand the IGN score. Megaman Star Force is a shonen story. In other words, it's a Japanese story aimed at younger kids. The game came out in 2007 on the Nintendo DS. The graphics aren't special, there's no animated cutscenes, there's no voice acting unless you count my cringy performances in this very video. Sometimes the writing is good, sometimes the writing is great, and sometimes you read a line like "Yeppers" and you just can't help but laugh. There really really are a ton of silly moments in the story. To delete Bob Copper's files, Geo knocks him out with a baseball machine. Cygnus Wing's plan is to trap children in a space simulator and force them to do the swan dance until they run out of oxygen. But then there's also a really touching moment. This creature was once Mr. Boreal's partner, and he claims to have filled the space simulator with oxygen before all the craziness started. Boreal proves that he trusts his partner and risks his very life by taking off his helmet. And he's not the only character who risks his life in this story. Pat does too. To access the space station towards the end of the game, we have to defeat Gemini yet again. But he gets the jump on us, and transforming into Megaman takes time, which would leave us wide open. When I first played this game, I was blown away that Pat, of all characters, rushed in to save the day. But reflecting more on it, Pat fighting Gemini makes perfect sense. It's like literally fighting your own demons. And despite never officially making a brother band with us, Pat still has a ray of light to guide Geo back to Earth. The message is clear. Anyone can redeem themselves if they take action to prove they care. While we're talking about brother bands, I adore the concept. It's a huge deal for the lonely Geo to make a new friend. I love how brother bands take these pivotal story moments and tie them to the battle system. We see Geo, the character, become a stronger person, and we also see Megaman get stronger with more HP and abilities. This idea that your loved ones are always connected. When Luna's card appears in battle, it feels like she's there, fighting alongside with you. Shonen stories are always harping about the power of friendship, but this is a rare game that lets you experience that power in a tangible way. And when Geo gets lost in space, the idea that brother band connections can guide him back to Earth feels grounded in the reality of this world. I just love the ending. Now, we do need to talk about Geo's girlfriends, okay? Sonia and Luna. Both of them play an important role in our hero's growth. Sonia and Geo deeply understand each other. They both lost a parent. They both know what it's like to just want some space. You might think that a concert musician would be way too outgoing for our introverted boy, but Sonia is actually pretty low-key. She's warm without ever being overwhelming. I love how both these characters help the other one heal. Geo hides her from the manager and has that powerful moment of bravery that's all the more courageous when he ends up getting smacked by an adult. And Sonia reminds Geo that he can find a new self. They're calm and kind with each other. It's this very supportive dynamic. But it's also a little too safe. I like my ships with a little drama, a little spice. Luna is an opposite personality. She's loud, she's demanding. Luna spends so much of the game trying to drag Geo back to school. And you know what? She did it. You see, if this were One Piece, Luna's hockey would be off the charts. She is incredibly strong-willed. And when someone like that believes in you, there is nothing you can't accomplish. That's not just talk. We see this in the game. That unyielding faith in Megaman saved his life and awakened the Star Force. These two also change in big ways. Geo goes from dreading Luna to wanting to walk her home from school. And every single time that her heart thumps around him, I just get this mischievous grin on my face. I'll say it again. Please post Geo X Luna on this video so I can prove that there's dozens of us out there. But look, let's be real. There is no relationship in Mega Man Star Force more important than Geo and Mega. Geo learns to be brave. Omega-Xis learns to sympathize. They are opposites who clash with each other, but also grow strong together. They're like yin and yang who reach enlightenment together, the Tao. I really like how relationships in this story are framed as something human. It's clever writing that we get to see these bonds through the eyes of aliens who can barely understand it. When we destroy Taurus Fire a second time, the bull just can't understand how a tiny body has so much power. Well, that's the power of trust. Omega-Xis didn't believe it either, but it's true. And that's why the invasion fails. Planet FM is the symbol of loneliness. If you see relationships as nothing more than tools, as something to be manipulated and subjugated, well, you'll never understand why you lost to a puny little blue boy. Megaman, on the other hand, is the symbol of trust. He can't exist without it. And that's why this not-so-depressed little kid is my favorite superhero. If you made it to the end of this video, please consider subscribing. I normally cover indie games, but I've got some really exciting Battle Network and Star Force videos coming out in April, like that time we preserved a Megaman arcade machine in France, or that time we raised over $10,000 for charity by playing freaking BN4 for hundreds of hours. I've also considered making a merch video too about all the cool stuff that we never got in America, and you know I gotta talk about Star Force 3, my all-time favorite Rockman game. So yeah, definitely consider subscribing. I love underdog games, I hate AAA. Also check out my eBay page because I'm selling my collection that did survive the fires. I got a lot of cool, interesting, rare stuff. And I'm also selling pins that help me recover from the fires. I'm Scoutmaster Demi. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you around the camp.